Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols, and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Words, and today we're going to be featuring my top 5 translations. Now, I'm going to add a 6th one for honorable mention. I'll let you know what that one is. But at number 5 is the New King James. I absolutely love that the New King James was an update to the King James. When I was coming up, King James was a very, very popular translation. It was kind of like the one for most people. And this was like the new kid on the block that just sort of took away the these and thous. So it was like I was getting my King James in, but in a way that I could read it. I absolutely love this translation. This is going to be my 2022 preaching translation. Really, really dig it. Then we move into, of course, the King James itself. It has to be in everyone's top 5. It is one of the most influential English translations in the last 500 years. It's made a difference. It is the one that I read when I got saved. It is the one that my pastor loved when I served under him, and I learned to love it. It's just got that where this really shines is the poetry. That's what I love about the New King James, is you don't lose out on the poetry. There is nothing like the King James English in the poetic books. Then at number 3, we have the NASB. Now, I just read this one for the first time a couple years ago. It is a little clunky, like people say, but I do love the fact that they do everything they can to keep everything as word for word as possible. Then at number 2, this is really close, but at number 2 is the CSB. The CSB just really takes the best of both worlds in my mind. It takes the word for word versus the thought for thought and kind of collides them into one thing, and really what, in my opinion, gives us the best experience in the reading. The one thing that the CSB kind of loses is the poetic readings. The poetic readings do suffer a little bit in the CSB, unlike these 3 right here. Number 1, ESV. No matter what I do, I keep finding myself coming back to the ESV. There is something about its relationship to the King James. Some people say it kind of reads like Yoda, which is what I love about it. I love the fact that it keeps some of those traditional, poetic, beautiful, flowing renderings. Now, I'm going to say this before I move into the bonus mention, is that I am not a Greek scholar. I am not a Hebrew scholar. I have to rely on people that do translations, and I believe they're very trustworthy. That's why I trust these translations and these committees that put the Word of God together, because they do something that I can't do. I have no reason to doubt that each of these translations are absolutely accurate, absolutely reliable. They meet different needs, and they scratch different itches for people. And for me, the ESV is the one that stands alone. It just really reads beautifully. I understand every text that I read without having to go back to dictionaries because it's in an American English. And then for honorable mention is the NLT. Now, the NLT for me reads a little weird, especially in the poetic books, because they are really kind of going for that dynamic meaning, trying to take ancient language and move it into modern English, which can be very difficult. So it makes me a little uncomfortable in some places, but whenever I'm stuck and I need a little more clarity, the NLT always seems to come through for me. So anyhow, that's my top 5 translations with an honorable mention to the NLT. I absolutely love them. I have read every one of these multiple times. I enjoy them so much. So anyhow, there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nichols Worth.